Well, a super day of racing awaits us on Sunday at Sha Tin. There's no dominant force here in Hong Kong in terms of the mile ranks anymore without Golden 60, so it's all up for grabs as we head to the Group 2 Sha Tin Trophy.
Voyage Bubble in front, half a length over Beauty Eternal, then Beauty Joy. Voyage Bubble though, he is going well, he is going to win the Stewards Cup.
It's all gone past me since I left the machine.
Beauty Eternal, he's still in front. 2 red line, Voyage Bubble, Golden 60 will miss a place. Zach Purton's going to do it again, and he's outstripped them from the front in the Champions Mile. Galaxy Patch out wider with Beauty Joy, massive finish. Galaxy Patch, Beauty Joy claim the others. What a horse, Mr. Versatile.
"56 days on Sunday. We will be counting down to HKIR 2024, and we've got a huge program of racing coming up. Of course, the Group 2 Sha Tin Trophy, the headline act. In the studio with me is Paul Lally and Nick Child. And Nick, can't wait to see some of the big weapons of Hong Kong racing out.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think this is when it really starts to get, very competitive with some of the top liners coming out. Of course, the Group 2 race coming up on the weekend. It's an absolute brain burner for mine. So too are some of the undercard races. So plenty to look forward to.
Yeah, there certainly is, Paul, and I think the pace will be quite interesting in the feature. Could it be a little stop-start, maybe?
It could well be. I think Cheng Cheng Glory looks the leader in the race because he's got the speed and he's got the light weight on his back. So I think Lyle Hewitson's a positive jockey. He'll go to the front. There's a good jackpot there as well for the undercard, the triple trio, 4.3 million. So they get over the 2 million mark, 10 million mark even. There'd be only 2, there'd be trouble. But there is 2 million going into the quartet first 4 merge pool in the last. Normally we put 1 in. This time we're putting 2.
Oh, yeah,
so there you go.
So plenty to look forward to. That last race is an absolute belter coming up at Sha Tin on Sunday as well. Let's look at the meeting details for what we've got in store for you. Plenty happening throughout the course of the day. 10 races on the A+3 course. And we are previewing race number 7, the Group 2 Sha Tin Trophy over the 1,600 metres, with the first underway at 12:35. Let's look at the lineup for this race. Of course, last year taken out by California Spangle. Voyage Bubble at the top for Ricky Yu and Andrea Atzeni. Beauty Eternal there for John Size, and Zach Purton is resuming after his Group 1 win on Champions Day. Beauty Joy, Galaxy Patch had a magnificent first season here in Hong Kong. You've got Red Line, who of course ran second to Beauty Eternal in the Champions Mile. Straight Aaron from a new stable. Ricky Yu, Brenton Abdallah happy together. Cheng Cheng Glory's got a lightweight of 115 pounds. So too La City Blanche, and a Group 3 winner down towards the bottom of the Celebration Cup. That is the Golden Scenery, also for Tony Cruz, Karis Teeton rides. The pace here, Paula, I mentioned it could be a little stop-start maybe. They might go along early, I thought, and then Cheng Cheng Glory just to back it off a bit to suit himself.
Yeah, could well do that because he's a horse that can dictate from the front, Cheng Cheng Glory, and with the light weight, I'm sure they're going to go forward with him. Now, Beauty Eternal, the other one, look, he was a horse that sort of really hit his straps when he was leading or trailing. He's going to be right there. Voyage Bubble, we know, likes to be on the pace, as does Red Lion. The rest generally get back, happy together. Beauty Joy, the Golden Scenery, La City Blanche is a back runner. Galaxy Patch has been getting back, and Straight Aaron will need it a bit further, I think.
That is the speed map for our Group 2 feature on Sunday at Sha Tin. But now time for our special guest here on Racing to Win. And we've got Andrea Atzeni, who's with us here on the show. Great to have you on board, Andrea. No doubt you're really looking forward to a top Group 2 ride this weekend in the form of Voyage Bubble.
Yeah, thank you for having me again. And looking forward to Sunday with not the busiest days, with 6 rides, but all nice rides. And looking forward to get on Voyage Bubble for the first time.
He's trained by Ricky Yu. Of course, he's one of 2 Group 1 winners in the race. He won the Stewards Cup last season, ventured overseas. Things overseas for him didn't quite go to plan, but how did you see his overall form last season?
Oh, he shows that he's a top class horse. Winning the Stewards Cup, and and then obviously finishes second in the Gold Cup behind Romantic Warrior. So he shows that he's a very versatile horse. He's a Derby winner, and like I said, he shows that he's a top horse in Hong Kong, and it looks like it's a sort of horse that could even improve this season, hopefully. And so I'm very glad to get on him.
Of course, he was a Derby winner over the 2,000 metres here in Hong Kong also, but with somewhat of, I guess, of an open-looking mile sort of ranks here in Hong Kong. Is it sort of a place where he could step up and take the mantle as maybe the best miler here in Hong Kong, with no Golden 60 now here, of course?
Of course, yeah. Like looking at last season, like I said, he looks like he could be the new kid on the block over a mile. But it's never really, the mile division. It's very open. Obviously, you've got Galaxy Pax that he's another horse that he could be anything this season. So it's although it's only 10 runners, but it's a very competitive race, and as we know, he's carrying top weight, which is never easy. But he's a class horse, and the top weight shouldn't be an issue. He's a big, strong horse.
You were aboard in a trial up at Chung Fa recently. How did you feel he moved in the trial up at Chung Fa? That was 2 trials ago. He's obviously had another one since.
Yeah, no, it was his first trial. I didn't ask him too much. I spoke to Ricky before. He was very keen for me to just get him to relax early for the first part of the trial and let him finish without asking him too much. But he felt good. His action was good, and as you said, he's trialled again since. And we're obviously watching him now, and I thought that was a very good trial too. He finished off quite nicely, and he seems ready to go.
Has trainer Ricky Yu's been on the record saying that he's not worried about the top weight of 135 pounds. How do you feel about the big weight with him this weekend?
Well, it's never easy to give weight away in these sort of races, and but he's a Group 1 winner, and he's a class horse in the race, and he's a quite strong horse. So hopefully the top weight won't be an issue. And but yeah, no, like I said, I don't think the top weight will be a problem. Look, most of these horses on Sunday, they're all having the first start, apart I think from the Golden Scenery. He's had 1 run this year, so most of all the rest of them, they're having the first run this season. So it'll be interesting to see how forward they are, really.
Let's talk about your season so far. We're through the first 10 meetings set here in Hong Kong. You've had 4 winners and 14 place getters from 52 rides. How do you think the early part of the season has gone for you?
It started off a little bit quiet. I wouldn't say quiet, just the horses were running well without winning. I finished second too many times, and then things are picking up now. Horses, maybe they were a little bit behind too, and the opportunities are starting to come along a bit more now. And so, yeah, listen, 4 winners is not bad. I would have liked a couple of more, but hopefully we can get the ball rolling now. And there's quite some nice horses that I've got, coming up in the next few weeks. And like I say, listen, you always want more, but I can't complain with 4 winners, and it would knock the door quite a few times, maybe too many times. But yeah, we can just carry on now.
We know it's such a strong group of riders here in Hong Kong in the jockeys room. How are you finding support? And also something a little different for you. Of course, no managers here, so you've got to go out and find your own rides. How do you get on with that aspect of the riding ranks here in Hong Kong?
Obviously, Hong Kong is very competitive. It's you ride against some high class, some against some of the high class jockeys. And like I said last year when I came, it was all new to me. Style of racing, and also, like you mentioned, booking my own rides. But it's like anything. Once I got used to it, sort of understand the handicap system, understand how it works with rides and stuff like that. And listen, it's never easy, because a lot of the times you can confirm a horse, which I've done before, a little bit too early, and then all of a sudden a better ride comes up. But obviously, I never like to get off my horses. So, but it's just one of those things. And sometimes, you lose out, but sometimes you can gain. But like I said, I got used to it now, and it's pretty straightforward at the moment.
Your own personal form, you won the Sydney Cup last season. Your ability to do lightweights, all that hasn't gone unnoticed, because you've picked up a ride in the Caulfield Cup next weekend. Zardozi for James Cummings and the Godolphin team. How did that come about? I'm
actually not quite sure, because obviously, like you said, there's a lot of weights a lot of lightweights in the Caulfield Cup. So a lot of the Australian trainers were looking for lightweight jockeys. And I'm quite lucky that I can do sort of 51. And James got in contact with me. He asked me if I was available for the Caulfield Cup, and he asked me if I would ride the mare. And she obviously got 51 kilos, which is it's light enough for me. I'll have to work hard for it, but I'm sure it's worth it.
Yeah, certainly was a terrific run on the Metrop last week at Randwick. We've got a couple of bloodhounds here in the studio to touch on your rides at the weekend as well, outside of Voyage Bubble. Paul, who do you want to kick off with?
Lucky encounter. You ride in the last year. I mean, you know this horse really well. Andrea had ridden most of his starts recently, and you've had 2 nice quiet trials leading into it, including that win at Happy Valley. How is he feeling going into the race on Sunday?
He's actually in really good form. His trials have been very good. His homework has been really good. I actually sat on him this morning. He's fresh. He's ready to go. I just wish I had a better draw. We drawn 13, which is not ideal, really. There's quite a bit of pace in the race. So hopefully, if the draw doesn't cause too much issues, I think he's a horse that, of this mark, he should be very competitive.
Andrea, you've also got Awesome Fluke as one of your rides on the undercard outside of the Group 2. He's a horse who returned with a good effort over the mile last time. Stepping back up to this 1.25 miles is surely going to suit him, isn't it?
Correct. I thought it was a very good comeback run. They sort of used the mile race as a sort of prep race for the rest of the season. And like you said, I think obviously the 2000 is going to suit him a lot better. He's a big, strong horse that... He did very well sort of back end last season. So, yeah, looking forward to get back on him. I think the 2000 on Sunday will really suit him.
He certainly stayed on well last time out, so we're back on top of the ground. We're expecting fine conditions this weekend at Sharton. You've also got Sunny de Best as well, Andrea, and he was a little disappointing last time out. You've only had 1 ride aboard him. How did he feel the other morning at the Happy Valley Trials?
He struggled good too. He's just a little bit fresh at the moment, but... I sat on him the other day, and he seems ready to go. Like you said, he put 1 disappointing run sort of back end last season, but his own work suggested, and then his trial too, that the horse is in good form. He's drawn 9, which is not great either, but it's a very competitive race, and he's currently enough top weight. But like I said, his work has been good. He'll come on for the race, but he's ready to go.
Out of your 6 rides at the weekend, Andrea, who are you most looking forward to? Maybe outside of Voyage Bubble, of course.
I really like Awesome Fluke. I think he's a horse that I had a lot of fun with him sort of back end of the season, and his comeback run was good over a mile, and I think obviously coming back up to 2000 should really suit him.
Hey, Andrea, we really do appreciate your time here on Racing to Win. Go well on Sunday, especially in the Group 2 Sharton Trophy with the Voyage Bubble.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now, thanks once again to Andrea Atzeni for joining us on the show. We're going to a break here on Racing to Win, but on the other side, we look again more into the Group 2 Sharton Trophy. We've got the last run reminder, the best bets, the plays, all coming up for Sunday at Sharton. Racing to Win continues. This is our twice-weekly Hong Kong racing preview show. We're going to dive back into the Sharton Trophy shortly, but Paul, we've got the last run reminder coming up here, and this week it's Jubilant Winner.
Yeah, it's a race coming up, race 8, so later in the card, Jubilant Winner. Really good run on his seasonal debut here. Now, he was 56 to 1 as well. You can see him jumping out there and very slow away. So he settled right towards the back here. Affirm did lead this race, and Affirm's come out and run really well since. So the form race looks pretty good. The winner looks quite smart, Super Infinity, and he's also racing in the card as well. But you can see him coming down the outside, Jubilant Winner, at 56 to 1, as I mentioned. He's coming, finishing off really strongly after that slow getaway. Change of jockey, Zach Purton will be aboard. And I just really like the way he finished off over this last little bit. This was over the 1200, and you can see him finishing off really nicely. So he looks pretty good. I thought a good bet there on Sunday.
Okay, so he's race 8, number 7, Jubilant Winner. The stable had a winner on Wednesday night. Of course, that is the stable of Jamie Richards. Let's look at a few of the past winners of this race, Nick, and some good names here.
There are indeed, yes. Some very good horses have won this race down through the years, of course. California Spangle the last twice. No California Spangle this time. In Golden 60, of course, goes without even mention, really. I mean, he speaks for himself. And it's an interesting race, Paul. I mean, given it is under handicap conditions, top weights do have a good record in this.
Yeah, so 7 of 1 recently, and the last 2, obviously, California Spangle was a very good horse, and he carried the weight, didn't he?
He certainly did, California Spangle there, and he's a sprinter now. Righto, let's hear from Lyle Hewitson. He's riding Chang Cheng Glory. He's going to try and get down to the lightweight of 115 pounds.
Lyle Hewitson, we've got a pretty good race coming up on the weekend. It's the Sha-Tin Trophy, of course. You're going to ride Chang Cheng Glory, a horse you know really well. You must be excited to get back on board him.
Yeah, absolutely thrilled. He's obviously been a horse that's done a lot for me since getting here, with quite a few winners, and run well in between those as well. And I just, as an individual, I've always loved him since day one. So it's just great to be aboard him, especially in such a nice race coming up.
I know, obviously, last season, through sort of circumstance, etc. I mean, he had a varying sort of range of jockeys. Obviously, you were one of them and had success on him. And you won 6 last year. You made no secret, though, after his Griffin year, to me anyway, that you thought this was a good horse. And I suppose great to see what he was able to do last season.
Yeah, I think what was impressive is that he won 1,000 first up. And I think I was confident in his ability, but the fact that he could do it over 1,000 when he was still a bit raw was very impressive. And then he just blossomed from there, especially when we put on the headgear in the new season. And I think that he just keeps taking a step forward every time he steps out. So, you know, I don't know if we've reached the ceiling yet. We sort of did think we had at the top of Class 3, and then something just clicked into gear again, and he stepped up a few more levels. So, yeah, he's a fantastic horse, lovely to ride, and a very talented individual.
Now a Class 1 winner, of course, finishing off the year in good style when Zach rode him. Trial, tell me about his trial, because I mean he's going to mix it with some big boys this weekend, but the trial looked very good.
Yeah, I think the trial showed everything, showed his well-being. We just gave him a quiet time in the first half of the trial and let him work home just off the bridle, and I think he showed that he was in fine fettle. He felt really good, and once again felt like he had taken a step forward in terms of his progression. So mentally and physically, he's, in my opinion at least, he's improved, and he's probably in for another very competitive and successful season.
You'd be fully aware, Lyle, obviously, the sort of the quality of the competition. It's not going to be easy, this first Group 2 of the season, but in your horse, you've got obviously a competitive horse, an honest horse, and certainly looks to go in there with a strong chance, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's a Group 2. Of course, it's going to be full of quality, and everyone deserves their chance in the field. But in handicap terms, that obviously him coming in with the bottom weight is certainly an advantage to him. He's tactically versatile. We can put him in front, outside the leader, a couple of pairs back, it doesn't matter, which is probably one of the things in his arsenal that he's got over 1 or 2 of his competitors. But he's a lovely horse, and I think he's certainly up to this level on handicap terms.
Lyle Hewitson riding the Francis Lloyd trained at Chang Cheng Glory, speaking with Nick a few days ago. Let's have a look at a few of the other main protagonists here in our feature event at the weekend. We've got Galaxy Patch here winning this race. Paul back in the field, happy together. Chang Cheng Glory, La City Blanche, and also Beauty Joy not too far away. He runs a good second here, but I think Pierre still slightly keeping the options open whether they go mile in December or maybe go further with this horse, Galaxy Patch.
Well, he is Mr. Versatile, isn't he? They step him up after whatever distance, and he runs really well. He's had 2 goes here at the mile, and he's won one of them. Like, he finished off this race really strongly. Obviously, this isn't going to be his grand final. This is a good stepping stone for him, but look, he's one of the major chances. You can have a look at his record there, as you can see. It's 12 starts for 6 wins in 3 seconds. One of those failures was on the all-weather as well, so I don't think they'll ever see him on that again.
No, quite. I tend to agree. That was earlier on in his career, but as you say, wonderful record there. He's won half his starts, and he'll win a lot more, I'm sure.
We're going to the Celebration Cup now, and the Golden Scenery was able to win this. It, in the end, was a good ride from Abdullah to get him into the clear, but I think he's a bit suspect here, Nick, at Group 2 company, isn't he?
Yeah, look, I tend to agree, Tom. Look, I mean, this was a very creditable win. He deserved it. He's beaten Taj Dragon, who's a very highly rated horse, and a few of those behind, obviously quite smart horses in their grade. But look, for me, he's swimming in deeper waters here this time in. They put him up £6. Yes, he's got a light weight, but he's mixing it with the big boys here, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, the only advantage he's got is he's had the run, hasn't he, I suppose? But look, he's hard to have, I think, in this company.
A trial here of Beauty Joy, and here he is on the all-weather Beauty Joy, of course, trained by Tony Cruz. Matthew Chadwick has ridden this horse in the past. Brenton of Della was aboard for this trial. Where do you see him fitting into this, Paul?
Well, he only won one last season. That was a Group 2 over the 1,600 metres. So, I mean, the distance isn't a problem. He's drawn one, which I don't think is ideal for him because he's going to get back on the inside. Look, I'm happy to watch him go round. He's a bit of an enigma, this horse. He doesn't win out of turn.
No, he don't. Look, I'll make no bones about it. I think this horse has got all the ability in the world. He just doesn't quite channel it as you'd hope. But he's been to be the oldest horse for 15 years to win it. At the age of 8, it won't be easy. But he has got the scalp of Beauty Eternal, let's not forget.
Straight Aaron, he's on to his third trainer now. Started with David Hayes, Casper Founds, now with Ricky Yu. He was good up until, well, he won the Jockey Club Cup, Nick, and then ran a really stout race in the Cup in December, but it's been downhill ever since.
Yeah, look, I mean, for me, he's a bit of a tough one to have. Obviously, new stable, that can sometimes rekindle them into something like their better form. But 115 he's rated. I think this is going to be tough. For me, he probably wants a bit more of a trip nowadays as well.
Oh, totally. I mean, he hasn't, as the minimum distance he's won in Hong Kong is 1,800, you know, and this is a 1,600. This, for me, is just a stepping stone somewhere else.
Quickly, Paul, Beauty Eternal, of course, in that race that he won, the Champions Mile, the first 4 in that race were the first 4 home. How do you see the form out of that working?
Yeah, no, pretty good, obviously. And the thing with him is he led all the way, and it was a really good ride from Zach. So I think he's going to get a perfect run. But again, December's his go.
Righto, selections for the Group 2 Sharton Trophy, Paul.
In the handicap, I'm going to go for the lightweight Chang Cheng Glory. I think this is the race for him with the lightweight Galaxy Patch, Voyage Bubble, and then Beauty Eternal, 8412.
Yeah, going to go with potentially the class in this, Beauty Eternal. He's got a very good fresh record. I think he can win this first time up. John Sides, I think, could be in for a good day. Galaxy Patch can chase him. Beauty Joy goes in. I've always been a bit of a fan. And Chang Cheng Glory with the lightweight, 2-4-3-8.
Those are the selections for the Group 2 Sharton Trophy. And don't forget, on the website hkjc.com, you can find the race-by-race preview for all of the races under the audio and video section. Best bet time, Paul, who's yours?
I'm going to go early in the card, race 2. Sebi, brilliant. Just had the one start. That was down the straight 1,000. And he had a really interrupted run. He actually missed the start. He didn't miss the start. He was squeezed at the start. One came inside, one came outside. He was the meat in the sandwich. And then once he sort of started getting going here, the best part of him is you can see him weaving his way through there in the red cap. He couldn't get a run. Just couldn't get a run the whole way down. And Zach just sat up on him. Up to 1,200 metres of this run under his belt. I think we can see him winning. And Loving Vibes, a really good debut run from him last season. Race 5, number 9, just had the one run here in Hong Kong. And the play we'll do in race number 6 with California Totality, Family Jewel, and Che de Gold, a QQP.
Best bet for me, race 3, number 1, Ensued. So hopefully it's going to be a good day for Zach Purton. Here's his recent trial. This guy, he's got stamina in abundance, and some of his performances last year were very good. Obviously disappointed slightly in the Derby, but he's had some nice trials since then, and he's 1 from 1 first up. Zach Purton's on board. I think even with a big weight, he's more than capable of winning this. So for me, I thought he was the one to be with on the weekend. And the value, race 4, number 8, Youth Power, is getting better. The record doesn't read very well, 0 from 14, but it's not an overly deep race. And the play, going race number 9 there, 4, 5 and 13 for the QQP.
Best bet, race 7, number 4, Galaxy Patch. I think he can win here for Vincent Ho and Pierre Ong, drawn barrier number 2. The value runner, I should say, for the day is race 5, number 7, Classic Century. Be interested to see what price he comes up at. He has been trialling well. And the play with the Etalon or Circuit Jolly and Run Yes Run, race number 1, 3, 5 and 6. That's just about the show. Let's have a look at the diary in terms of what is coming up here in the next week or so. Of course, we start on Sunday, the first at 12:35. The Longines Cup coming up at Happy Valley on Wednesday night, the first there at 6:35, and back to Sharton next Sunday, the 20th, for the Group 2 Premier Bowl. Can't wait for Sunday, Nick. There's so much to look forward to.
Yeah, it's a cracking race day, and even outside of the Group 2, Paul, as well. Some really good horses.
Yeah, I think this is the best race, race meeting of the season so far.
Yeah, of course, Wunderbar going around in the final event. So he'll be looking to win again for Zach Purton. Thanks for joining us here on the show. We look forward to your company at Sharton on Sunday for the Sharton Trophy, the first at 12:35.